In this lecture, let us create a box. For this, I'm going to sketch, and here I'm going to draw a rectangle. Let's dimension this. And then I'm going to extrude it. I'm going to extrude it up to 200. Now I'm going to create a fillet for all these things. So go to create option and I can select edges. So when I select edges and I drag it over here, or I can give the value over here so that the fillet is formed. But as I need the fillets for all the edges, I'm going to pick it from the box selection. That is, I'm going to select fillet and box select everything. Then you can see here 6 faces, 12 edges are selected. Here I'm going to give it as 10. Then click OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a construction plane. And it is going to be at a distance of -25. Then click OK. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this body. If you see, this whole thing is one body, but I want a lid for my box. So the upper portion is going to be the lid and the bottom portion will be the container. Let us save this file. I'll go to save and let me browse to my folder. And here I'm going to save this as box. So now I'm going to split this. Go to split body option. So I'm going to split this into two parts. Now the body to split is only one body we have, and the splitting tool, go and select this plane, then click OK. So now you see we have two bodies. So the top portion is going to be the lid and the bottom the container. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and say create components from bodies. Before that, I want you to observe that here we have this symbol, that is one cube symbol over here. Once I'm going to create components from bodies, this has changed to this symbol. The previous symbol denotes a part and this denotes an assembly. So this is my component. Here I'm going to name this as container and right click again, and for the second body also go for create components, and this one I'm going to rename as lid. So now previously if you had tried to pull this, it wouldn't have come, but because now these two are two bodies, we can easily move them. Okay, so I do not want to move them right now, so I'm just going to do Ctrl Z. So for a container, you know that the inside portion should be empty. For that, I am currently hiding this lid and also hiding this construction plane. And inside this, I'm going to create an empty space. For this, we are going to use shell command. Using shell command, the inside thickness, I'm going to give it as 5 mm. And then click OK. Similarly, I'm going to do the same for the lid also. So I'm hiding the container, and here I can select this face and go for shell option, and again I'm going to give it as 5 mm. Then click OK. Now let's switch both of them and keep it in the isometric. Now because these two are different parts, let us try to color them differently. For this, I can click on A. A brings us this dialog box called Appearances. In the Appearances, I can add colors. So here we have many colors. So I'm going to paint and I'm selecting some glossy color, like let's say for the bottom I'm selecting paint and I can select this color, and for the top I can select some other color. Let's say I'm selecting green, but if I do not like the shade, I can double click and I can change the color from this color palette. Okay, then click close. Now we did not provide any recess to this lid or container. So when I move one, the other will also not stop it from moving. So for that, let us add some extrusions over here so that this exactly fits. So for that, let me activate my container. And when I activate my container, you can see that my lid is not able to be seen clearly. That is, it has become translucent so that now I can work on my container well. So here I'm going to currently hide this lid also so that I can select this face. I can go to create sketch and I'm going to use the offset tool and select this inner portion, and here I'm going to give it as 2.5, but this should be the other side. So I can use flip or I can directly give the negative sign. Then click OK. Then go for finish sketch, and in the isometric we can see here I'm going to give a little protrusion. So I'll give it till 5 mm, then click OK. Now coming to our lid, let us activate the lid and let us hide the container. Now I'm going to turn this way, and on this face I'm going to select my sketching plane. So here again I'm going to go for offset tool and I'm going to offset it by minus 2.5 and then click OK. Then go for finish sketch. Previously we had given a protrusion, so here we have to give a cut. So go for extrusion and go for 2.5 mm cut. So instead of join, go for cut and give this as minus. Then click OK. Now let us highlight this container and let us activate the complete assembly by clicking here. And then now let us try to remove this and see. We have this inclusion over here, and then we have something to accommodate. Now these two can fit well. Just do Control Z. Now because we are in the assembly, we now know that these two parts are moving and they are moving independently. So for us to arrest the degrees of freedom, we have a tool called joint. So using the joint option J, which is the shortcut tool, we will be able to arrest this motion between these two containers.